Welcome back, Rams, to an all-new episode of What the Well. If you're a dedicated listener, welcome back. If you're a new listener, welcome to our podcast. I'm your host this week, Carrie Baines. My pronouns are she or they. I'm one of the health educators and the peer health education coordinator at the Wellness Resource Center. I have the privilege to work with some amazing students in our peer health education program. We have a few of them here with me today. I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Santosha. I go by the pronouns she, her, hers. I'm a junior at VCU, majoring in political science, and I'm also on the pre-med track. I really love working with the Wellness Resource Center as a peer health educator because I feel really engaged with other students and the greater community here at VCU. Health and wellness is so important in college, and I'm just really glad to help educate other students about it.
Hey everyone, I'm Haley. I'm a sophomore here at VCU, and I go by the pronouns she, her, hers. I'm majoring in psychology with a concentration in addiction studies and a minor in Spanish. I love being a peer health educator in the alcohol and other drugs group because it allows me to share information that people might not know about the risk of using different substances.
Hi, I'm Alora. I go by the pronouns she, her, and hers. I'm a third-year criminal justice major with a psych minor. I have a lot of family history with alcohol and drugs, which is why I enjoy being an alcohol and other drugs peer health educator. It allows me to apply things I know and have learned to my family history as well as to people around me who may be struggling.
Our episode today is about having a successful and healthy fall semester. We have come up with 10 quick and easy tips to help you this semester.
So tip number 1 is to be open to new experiences. Whether that be joining a club you never would have thought of, taking a more challenging course to test your boundaries, or even applying for an internship or job that could give you valuable career experience, being open-minded and willing to try new things is a great skill to have in life. I know last year when I did organic chemistry too, I was really scared that it would be much difficult of a course to take, but I actually ended up enjoying it and learning a lot of new things about studying and how to take things slow.
And in terms of joining clubs and organizations, make sure to check out the SOBO Fair because that's a huge resource if you want to check out like any sororities or clubs on campus. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to reach out and open yourself up to others. You'll be surprised by how many people genuinely want to help you if you just ask. And most importantly, remember that there is strength and vulnerability.
Yeah, a lot of the times coming as a freshman, you're really scared to make new friends, but a really important thing to remember is that everyone is also in that same boat, and so reaching out can sometimes lead you to form great friendships and relationships.
And don't stress out if you don't make a ton of friends at once, or if you lose some old friends from your hometown or something, because that's all part of the process.
Tip number 3 is to use the campus resources as a preventative measure rather than a treatment. Oftentimes, students find themselves in trouble because they've been postponing asking for help. There are many amazing campus resources available to students who need help in all aspects of life, from the Wellness Resource Center to the Counseling Services Department to the Campus Learning Center. Making a habit of using these resources before you actually need them will prevent you from having to course correct right before final season. We all been there. We don't want to see it happen again. It's better to use them as a preventative measure than a treatment.
And if you do choose to go to the counseling service, I know that they also recommend you, or they refer you to like other therapists and things, not just within VCU, but outside as well. Tip number 4, establish genuine relationships with professors. You never know when you'll need a letter of recommendation, and it'll also just make the class a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah, definitely. If you can contact your professors outside of class, a lot of the times they'll be really eager to help you with classwork or homework, or even just to talk to you about interests you have in the class or coursework, and they can even recommend you different courses to take that'll pique your interest even more. Tip number 5 is to use the Richmond transit system. So this is definitely more of a practical trip, but it's just as important. With VCU's new partnership with the GRTC bus system, VCU students can now get around town super easily, even if they don't have a car, which I definitely don't. The Pulse bus line, which runs down Broad Street, can take students downtown all the way to VCU's medical campus and all the way up to Willow Lawn for shopping and dining. And there's even other bus routes that are free for students to use that run to Carytown, Shockoe Bottom, and even to Kings Dominion. So if used wisely, the GRTC bus system is an economical and efficient way to get around Richmond.
Tip number 6, if you choose to party, always travel in groups with at least one person you trust and have some sort of agreed upon signal if you feel uncomfortable and want to leave.
Yeah, I personally use the Find My Friends app on my phone or other types of Finding Your Friends apps. I know there's one for a lot of different types of operating systems, and it's definitely a great way to keep in touch.
Tip number 7, look over degree works and map out all 4 years with or without your advisors, ASAP. A lot of times you'll end up with a very small and easy senior year, which means you might be able to graduate early, rather than paying for an entire semester's worth of fees. Take summer classes, even outside of VCU, as it's cheaper and can help you graduate sooner. It's also said that December is the best time to graduate because not many students do, so finding a job can be easier.
Going on to degree works is actually one of my favorite tips on this list because I feel like a lot of people rely too much on their advisors when you can do a lot of the research on classes yourself.
Yeah, like my freshman year, the first thing I did was actually go on degree works and map out all 4 years, and that's how I am able to actually see that I can graduate a semester early. Tip number 8 is going to be try to plan out your weeks before they start so you can stay motivated, and then once you get one chapter read, an assignment done, etc., you can reward yourself by doing fun things with your friends. Classes should always come first, though.
And even if you're not like a physical planner person, I know a lot of people love to use like Google Calendar and stuff, and that can be really helpful.
Tip number 9 is to not be afraid to withdraw or drop a class you're struggling with. A W is better than an F, and an F actually affects your GPA while a W just is on your transcript. It doesn't affect anything.
With that being said, be mindful because you don't want to give yourself a ton of W's on your transcript either.
Yeah, like my first semester I was failing a class for the first time ever, and I decided to withdraw, and that was probably the best choice I made for my GPA's sake. And then the final tip is going to be to have fun but be safe. Make sure you're aware of the resources that VCU offers because you pay for it in your tuition. There's more than you would think, and try to use them all.
We hope you found these tips helpful and have a wonderful semester.
Be sure to check out the campus resources that we mentioned. Links to the resources will be in the description of the podcast. Tune in next time. Kiana, our sexual health educator, will give us some tips on how to get on safely.
Be
Be
well.
well.